All right, so let's go over the things we've learned from our training hikes, right? So the first thing we learned, which covers probably some of the other things we learned, but basically is that you need to be prepared. Even for a day hike, we found out the hard way. We're out on a little day hike. It's local, not too far away. Well, it's in an area without service. We had no idea where we were going. We thought we could follow the blazes and stuff, and we got lost. And so my wife and I ended up on a trail that was a lot longer than we expected. We ran out of water. We had no more water. We were getting pretty hungry. We had no food. Yeah, so I mean, all kind of dumb, and I guess most people probably know this, but I learned that you need to really pack some essential items. So look up 10 essentials for backpacking. I don't know that you need all 10, but you definitely want to have certain things, and we've learned some of those things, and some of those things we learned later with other mistakes we made, but we definitely now try to make sure we have a map, compass. So on that particular route, that particular trail, we did end up found a road, and we were able to road walk back to the trailhead. Tired, hungry, thirsty, and with some lesson learned. So that was lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 was hydration. And I'm not one, have never been one to drink much water. Pretty much ignored it all my life. And I'm trying to be better about it. But we were on a trail, it was a hot day. Didn't drink much water. I drank a little bit, but I started feeling lethargic, a little dizzy. Did not know why. And then I felt like I really had to pee. But to my surprise, in spite of my pain of having to pee, I couldn't pee. So later I Googled that, and that's a pretty common reaction to dehydration. Your body just grabs the fluids and says, nope, you're not letting that go. So anyways, we were able to get more water. So what was the lesson? The lesson is to drink water, camel up beforehand if you can, carry enough water, make sure you have your electrolytes with you, take in your electrolytes every day, and always have a way to filter or get more water, because you may need it. Even if you don't think you're on a trail that long, I always now carry water treatment. We also now carry this sipping bottle, because I find that if I have to reach back and grab my smart water bottle out of my side pocket, I might not drink as often as I do as if I just use this and take sips as I go, and then I can drink more constantly. So I carry a half liter in the sipping bottle, and then I carry a full liter, and I also have a couple other ways to carry water, but that's usually enough for the day hikes. That's lesson number 2 I learned. The third lesson I've learned from doing my day hikes for training for the AT is all about the poop kit. So keep in mind, I really wasn't worried about what exactly I was carrying in my pack. I just wanted roughly the weight that I thought I would be carrying, so I threw a bunch of stuff in there that resembled what I was going to carry. Most of the gear that, you know, I kept my rain gear and water filtration, that kind of stuff. But I wasn't really careful with my poop kit, because I just thought, well, I really don't need it. And yeah, so what I learned is that you can get on trail, even on a day hike, and you can need everything that's in your poop kit. And if you don't have everything that's in there, you're going to have to make do. No pun intended. So anyways, lesson learned. It's kind of unfortunate, but now I carry everything I need to dig a cat hole, to clean up afterwards, all that stuff. So it's all there. That was lesson number 3. Lesson number 4 that I've learned is how quickly you actually get good at this, or build up leg muscles and stuff, when you're actually doing the hiking. And I kind of knew that that would happen if I hiked every day. People talk about getting your trail legs in a week to 2, but I didn't know if that would actually happen if you hiked once a week. And I can report that it does. So we learned that, and that's a good lesson, that you don't have to hike every day to get trail legs. You can hike once in a while, he said almost breathlessly. All right, lesson number 5 that I learned, to my surprise, was every time I hike, my nose runs. And I did not expect that. It's not something that normally I have to deal with. But as soon as I start hiking, my nose starts running. So I've learned that I need to carry a towel with me that's easily accessible. So I got this pack towel, which hangs from my shoulder strap. And it's worked out really well. Not a real fan of the texture of it. Even my autistic daughter Lila felt it and said refuse to use it. Said nope, never using that. But it works. It also works to wipe sweat off your face when it's hot out. And those are 2 things that you need to be able to do. Blow your nose, wipe sweat. I think I have camp towels for other things like removing condensation and all that. But for while you're hiking, you need something easily accessible. So carry a pack towel was my other lesson. Sort of a bonus lesson too is I haven't been taught this, I haven't had to use it, thank God, but is to carry some sort of GPS device. Like I said, we are hiking in places at times that have no cell service. Like the hike we're on today, I have 0 service. Luckily I downloaded a map prior, so I have the map to use. But again, that was one of my early lessons. But the other lesson is to carry something like this Garmin that should anything happen, we have a way to get emergency help. And on a related note, we now carry these whistles. When we got separated from my daughter Lila at one point on the trail, it was kind of a scary moment for everyone. So we all got whistles. So that's another lesson we learned. All right, another general lesson. I don't know if I'm up to 8 or 9, but trekking poles. And yeah, I've seen people use them. I knew about them. I've used them a couple times, and I thought, yeah, okay, cool. But I've really come to appreciate how helpful they are. And I didn't really understand that until I've been hiking a lot. They're helpful in a few different ways. One is when you're going uphill, I really use them to push off, maybe more than most people. And I transfer a lot of the load to my arms. And not that I have upper body strength. I always joke that I have the upper body strength of a stuffed animal. But it definitely really helps. It also helps for going downhill to take some of the load off my knees, which seem to be one of my weak points. But even any treacherous areas, when you're carrying a pack, you're a little more unstable. And the trekking poles really help just to make sure that you can catch yourself if you slip or something like that. Definitely has helped a few times on my trails. So that's definitely a lesson learned. Carry trekking poles. All right, one other lesson, I think I'm up to 10, not sure, is making sure that your electronics that you carry are, 1, are you actually on your person, and 2, charged and ready to be used. We learned almost the hard way. We got caught out, it got later than we expected. We're running out of daylight. And I realized I carry my headlamp, but I haven't bothered to charge it since I've been carrying it all year. I just haven't had to use it. So that's kind of a fail. We've also walked through a couple of areas, like picture here a cave that we actually had to walk through to continue on the trail, and it was dark and you couldn't even see if there was anything in there, like a snake or something like that. Having a headlamp on at that point would have been good. So yeah, we carry battery backup now also. So if the phone starts dying, we have enough juice to keep going. So keep everything charged up, carry all the electronics you need. And yeah, that was a lesson. All right, this is probably an obvious lesson, but I've learned I have a tendency to not do things that I should do at the time. I just put them off, and like I ignore discomfort. So my lesson is basically this: if you're starting to get hot, take the layers off. Don't just wait until you're drenched in sweat, which I've done, actually on the same trail that we're on today in the summer. The other thing is if you gotta pee. No sense in just holding it and getting miserable for the next mile. Just pee. Yeah. Then so that's kind of a lesson I've learned about. Should probably apply to general life. So all right, so that I try to think of other things I've learned, and I'm sure there's probably things that other people have learned that maybe I didn't learn yet, or will learn, or I already knew. I like to think maybe it was just stuff I already knew. Yeah, so please comment below if things that you've learned from doing training hikes and stuff. And there's a million things I'm sure I'll learn when I'm on the AT, but this kind of like just what I've learned over this past 6 months of training hikes, maybe a little more than 6 months now. And yeah, so that kind of wraps it up, I think. Yeah, so signing off from the John Muir Trail along the Hiawassee River. Talk to you later.